Hi, welcome to Yowah. This is the Yowah Opal field. We're at the township. My name is Uwe Barfuss. I'm the director of Queensland Opal Mines. I'm here to tell you a little bit about opal cutting of the Yowah nut in particular. This is a Yowah nut. Can be as small as a peanut. It actually looks like a nut sometimes. It can be a size of a walnut, and sometimes look like a walnut, like walnuts being replaced by opal. Or this size here. This is one we just got out. This is what it looks like. It round like that. Didn't think there was anything in it, so I hit it down the mine, and then I hit it again, and there we go. Colours came out, beautiful colour, a great indication of what could be down there. The colour's great, the colour's got all the colours of the rainbow. It's a really good indication. But the average size of a Yowah nut is sort of about this size, and about up to the size of my hand. This is one that we just found. That's the bottom of it. You'll see it has a little bit of colour showing on the bottom because we cleaned it up to brush the sandstone off. That gave us a good indication. And we cut the top off it didn't have opal, and that's the part from there down has opal, full colour, no potch, just all the colours of the rainbow. Now that's what a Yowah nut's all about. It is unique. It is the only place in the whole world, and the only place in Australia, where you will find the Yowah nut. It's a field the size of about 2 square kilometres, no bigger. And most of that 2 square kilometres been worked out. It was mined first in 1872, and then the open cut miners were at it, and they screwed up most of the field. Only found 20% because of the way they were mining. The rest has been buried forever, will never be found again. But there's still underground mining, and we underground mine. Anyway, let's go and show you some cutting. I just cut this a little while ago. That is a Yowah nut. That is beautiful, full colour, all the colours of the spectrum are in there. It's not polished yet, just been cut in half. And that's what it looked like before we cut it. On the outside you could see a bit of colour on the bottom, and that's what it looked like on the top of it. And I'm going to cut a little bit more off that to see how it goes and show you how we do the saw cutting. There you are. The colours are starting to come through. But of course not as good as the other side. That's the side That's the best side, of course. That's going to make a wonderful stone. Now I will show you a bit of cutting. The Yowah Opal is very difficult to cut because it's so unpredictable. You cannot tell what it's going to be like until you open it up, and then the next cut could be completely different, and that's the beauty of the Yowah nut too. It's so unique. It changes so much. Every cut has a different stone. That's the beauty of it. With this machine we do a bit of carving. Turn off. This machine we use quite a bit to cut away to the colour. Starting to see the colour. Starting to get the colour there, coming down. There's some of the colour there. We carve it out like that, and the same with this stone here. This one here, we've done a bit of work on. There was a line through here, a line of sand. It's because the pieces were actually joined. That brings out the colour that's beneath, that dives down. Brings out the colour in the lines here, as you can see. And that is the bottom part of a nut, that's the top. And that identifies the nut, the circle underneath in the back of it. Because the Yowah, there's a little bit of colour coming through. The Yowah nut is unique. It's not just a matrix opal. The Yowah nut is a matrix, has a matrix with a skin around it, but it's unique to Yowah. And the word, the Yowah field, whoever named it or how it was named, we don't know. But the Yowah comes from the unspoken word of God, Yahweh. In the 15th century Bible, Yowah is talked about, and experts, scientists in Germany have described it in a press conference as being the Valley of God, and that the fruits and nuts in the Valley of God, which were destroyed by environmental impact, which we believe was from outer space, changed the character of them, and the valley was destroyed, and then the fruits and nuts are what we're mining, and they've been opalized. That's their theory. There's a theological theory which is equally as exciting, and the geological theory is that geologists say that the fact that the Yowah nut is here and here only in this small area is just not explainable. It's a freak of nature. They can't say why it's only here, why the nut was formed. Except they say the nut was there before, millions of years ago, and the opalization came in a liquid form, in a cold liquid, and filled the cavities of the nut to give you what we're showing you today. So that's what we do with this machine. So let's go over and grind a little bit. We do a fairly coarse wheel here, diamond wheel. It's about an 80 grit, a 220 and a 280. Those are the first three wheels that we use. And today I will show you a stone that I'm working on. For instance, this one here is just about finished on this wheel. You can get white opal in the nut too. This is out of the nut. It has white opal, has some red on the top of it, a subtle red. But that's what we do with the cutting. We cut it nice and smooth. This wheel cuts it finer. And then we put it on that wheel here, for instance. That is a soft wheel, it's soft back. It just gives the final touches to it, takes out all the scratches of the stone. This will make a nice pendant. So here's the bigger stone that I've been working on. This is showing a lot of red. But on the other side, completely different. It's hard to photograph opal, as you'll appreciate, but you can never photograph it as good as it is in nature. But this is what we do then. We go around the edges there, take out all the flat spots, and usually we put it on a dot stick for a smaller stone. There's the big stone. There, go around the edges. There's a lot of work in getting a stone right, but red is the hardest colour to photograph, and also red is your most expensive colour, and in particular depends on the combination of the other colours with the red. But it's also your rarest colour. It just doesn't occur much. Blue and green. Blue is your most common colour, occurs the most of, and green is your second colour. You see the beautiful rings of the nut. This is the telltale. That is the cross section of a whole nut. That's the full size of the nut, and that's the one slice that comes out of it. Going to have beautiful reds in it, predominantly on this side, with the centres of it. This is your white opal in there, and your black matrix, and that will, when it's finished, it's not finished yet, takes quite a bit of work still, but will be a magnificent piece. It's going to be green, predominantly green on the other side. It's going to be fit for king or queen. And that is genuine Yowah. Genuine Yowah is only found at Yowah, nowhere else in Australia. It's not just a matrix from Yowah, it's a Yowah. We certify them. We photograph all their stones, we weigh them, we give them a number, and we give a certificate that is which is our guarantee that it's a Yowah opal. And most of them come out of our own mines here at Yowah. Some might come out of neighbouring mines, but we have been at Yowah the family has been since 1972. My father was an opal miner and a cutter. My father was the one that found the angel of Yowah, which come out of our mine. And also the Great Australian Opal was produced by our mine. We're still working the same mine with Yowah that we have. The family has worked since 1972. I have a couple of other stones here. I don't know what I've got it. There's another one here. That's the centre of the Yowah nut. This is another Yowah. There again, this is predominantly red. Very hard to photograph red, but it's a nice stone. There's another one here that might photograph better, but this is one we're working on. On the edges of that, there's a floating colour, floating red, and that's just coming through. It doesn't come up very well, the red. That's why it's predominantly red. But it's going to make a top stone. It's going to make a beautiful pendant for someone. And we sell opal, we sell our opal all over the world. From New York, Los Angeles, Paris, London, Tokyo, all over the place. You see Yowah Opal, but we always guarantee what we sell. So this one here is a particular unusual stone, as the colour in there is actually not fixed, but it tends to float, which is again it's hard to photograph. And then to polish it, we go on the other wheel. I'll just do a quick polish on this. A bit of a sanding and a bit of a polish. That's your fine wheel, it's got a slight motion to it. Not coming out so much on the picture, but anyway, that's the polishing. That's the 1200 wheel, and we do at times teach people how to cut and polish, which is a longer process. Actually, the Yowah nut is very hard to know how to polish. It's the most difficult opal. Of all the opals, I polish all the Australian opals, and it's the most difficult one to cut and polish the right way, because it's so different in character. You can sand it too long and you lose it. You don't sand it or polish it enough and you lose it, or you don't bring out the right colour. So that's starting to come up. And that's your polishing wheel here. But I've been cutting and polishing since the 70s, and we've been at Yowah since. The family's been at Yowah with the Yowah Opal since 1972. Starting to get a bit of a polish. It's nowhere near finished. There's a lot more work involved in getting that finished. And then if we want to examine a stone more carefully, we can do that. That's why we have a microscope, for instance, and use a microscope for that. We sometimes have some rough nuts that are very hard to work out how the colour's going, and not only that, but you've got to figure out which is the best way to cut the nut to get the best results out of it, to get the most beauty out of the nut. And that is a skill that's acquired through experience. Normal opal cutters are a disaster in cutting Yowah opal. They do not understand how to cut it, they don't understand the nut, so they invariably will cut it wrong. So sometimes with a very special stone, we go to the trouble of looking at it through a microscope to see exactly how it will cut, how we can bring the best out of the stone. And this is what we use that for. So there's a lot involved in cutting Yowah opal. It's the most complicated stone opal to cut. It's the most rewarding to cut, actually, and really the most beautiful opal you can get. I once asked the wife of Harry Spencer, who was the biggest gem king of the Southern Hemisphere, and he mainly dealt in sapphires. And his mother, when she was alive, I talked to her, his wife actually, when she was alive, I talked to her, and she told me the story of their buying opal in the different opal fields, Lightning Ridge, Cooper Pedy, in those days that they were trading. And I said, well, what's the best opal you've ever seen? And she said, a Yowah nut. And I didn't know at that time what a Yowah nut was. And she explained it to me. It's so beautiful, it comes in the nodule, a nut, that she believed that was the most beautiful opal in the world, was a good Yowah nut. It overshadows black opal from Lightning Ridge. It's so beautiful, and I know it is, because I've seen a lot in my time, cut a lot of it, and definitely it's a good Yowah nut opal is fantastic. It's undescribable, and you've probably seen some in the world, and they've probably come from our mines. They've definitely come from Yowah, otherwise you don't produce the Yowah nut that we have here. It doesn't come from anywhere else. Okay, I think that's about all about cutting, but there's more involved in that. It takes a long time to learn to cut it, but it's thrilling. It's a thrill to cut a Yowah nut, cut a Yowah opal, to finish it, to see the beauty revolve as you're cutting. That's about it, I think. Hi, it's me again, Yowah. Just want to show you something very interesting that occurs quite frequently at Yowah. Actually, this is the Yowah nut with the black potch, which is the basis of black opal from Lightning Ridge. It is the colour laying on top of the potch. That is the Lightning Ridge black opal. We get the same as that. We sometimes get opal on the top of it. I haven't got one to show you at the moment. It's fairly rare. But that's a nut we have which just proves the point. There's black potch at Yowah in the nuts. And I'll show you another stone. This is a Yowah nut. This is one cut out of one flat large nut. And that was the top of it, like that. And that's the other slice of it, off the bottom here. Cut there's 3 slices. It's work in progress, which needs to be polished. Make a beautiful collector's item, that does. All the 3 pieces of the nut, 3 slices are there. Okay. Just to show you the differences in nuts that occur at Yowah are enormous. This is the nut, this is the total whole nut. That's what it looked like when we mined it. Come out of our mine, of course, and we only saw a little trace of colour there. And then we open it up. It'll make 2 very beautiful stones for a great piece of jewellery. But also, it is a great specimen for a collector. It's a real collector's item as well, to have the 2 halves of the nut just cut in half and polished. We have customers who love that sort of thing. And I'll show you another one that's interesting. This is a nut this is a typical nut that's just been cleaned up. The sandstone has sort of been ground away and polished a little bit. Originally, when we mined it, we hit it. We didn't think there was anything in it at all, so we hit it to break it open, because you have thousands of nuts. And out of 1,000 nuts on an average, you'll have 1 that is gem, and out of that 1 is 1% that is top gem. That's how rare a nice Yowah nut is. And this is how it's split open. Nothing in the middle at all. Looks like very little there at all, very little value. And then this is what the result was. This is black opal of the finest. There's all the colours. Again, that's a great collector's item for a serious collector, or it could be cut into 2 stones for jewellery. But we decided not to cut it yet, so we just like it is, as it is there at the moment. And just to give you a bit of an idea of what the Yowah nut is all about, then we have this is a piece of a Yowah nut. It's a piece of a Yowah nut that is just, actually we found it on our own mullock after hoisting. So just recently, so it's to our surprise, we must have missed it underground. And there's a few stones here to give you a bit of an idea of what you can get. And I'll put it on my hand to give you a bit of an idea of size. This is quite nice, beautiful matrix, nice and bright. Really bright. I mean, the colours are like electric colours. We call them electric colours because they're so bright. They just explode out of the stone. This is very, very unique, this colour. This is the Yowah nut. That's been, you see the skin around it, has no matrix around it. The most valuable Yowah nut is the one that has the opal, or a little bit of an opal centre, with the matrix around it. But nevertheless, this is nice also. And this is one too. You see the center of it. The center is a matrix, and the ironstone nut around it. It's a slice of a Yowah nut, and the back is the shell, the outer shell of it. There probably would have been 2 stones made out of that. This is a shell again. It's a shell of a nut with beautiful matrix, a little bit of blue, beautiful bright blue, bright green, very unusual, very creative, yet nature created it. And, well, you get this one here is cut out of the shell of the nut, the skin in other words, but it has beautiful design, nice blue-green, and the inside of it is black matrix with bright red and green in it. So it's a stone you could fashion into jewellery, and you could wear one stone one week and the other stone the next week, all 2 stones in one, or whichever you felt like during the day. You want to change it around, wear the one you love the most for the day. Here again we have the same sort of example. This is part of a Yowah nut. This is the skin here, and that's the center of it. But it's double-sided too. It goes all the way through. Beautiful on both sides. But this side I like the best. It's really, really strong, beautiful green colour. This one here is like a shell. It's double-sided all the way through, mainly blue, but a nice blue electric colours. And there's the design. You will not find another stone like it. It's been carved and cut with love and care for the beauty of the opal. Now this is, as I said, you can get small nuts, and that is a small nut. That's almost the size of a peanut. There's precious opal inside it, beautiful colours, bright, and you can see the skin around it. And that's it. That was probably half of a little nut. That's as small as you can get them. You can get them even a bit smaller than that, but they're pretty. And this one here is the same. You've got the center of the nut here and the skin around it, but hell, this makes a beautiful pendant, or a brooch, or a bowler tie, or even an exotic and elegant belt buckle. And one I haven't shown you is this one here. It's the cabochon. That's the back of it. It's the opal goes, the matrix opal is from the skin, goes all the way through. It's an elegant stone. It's conservative, actually, but it's pretty. Very pretty stone. Very hard to get a high dome cap. I've cut a few of them twice as high as that, and about the same size. And yes, they don't last long, needless to say. But it's very, very hard to get the right nut to make it out of. And which one have we undone? We haven't done this one. Okay. This is a Yowah black opal. The colours virtually explode out of the stone. It is not focus that you've got to worry about of the camera. The camera just, the way it captures it, it's like the aura of the opal exploding out. And that's the sign of a pretty and very valuable stone too. And it's got a little volcano on the stone, volcano of opal. Don't know if you can see it, but it's a natural rise in the opal, which looked like a little volcano. Well, that's about a 14 carat. It's cut from the nut. It can come like that from the center, and also comes from the skin. This is cut from the skin of the nut. This just gives you a bit of a cross section of what Yowah is capable of producing, and it produces more than that. There are more fantastic stones that we've sold in the past, and which we thought we'd get again. We thought, oh no, it's okay, we'll get another one. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't seem to happen. There's always different stones. Even the fantastic stones, they don't repeat themselves. They're always a one-off. And yeah, they have their own beauty. So with that in mind, I think we sort of sign off on this. It gives you a bit of an idea of what Yowah is all about, how beautiful it can be. And the one that we haven't actually demonstrated is this one. I just about forgot about this one. This is, again, you've got the center of the nut, the center there, the matrix going around it. This is an exceptional stone because it is red, predominantly red. I don't know if you can capture the red. Don't think you can. But this is more about 80% red opal in it. A little bit of green, and not much blue, just mostly red and a tiny bit of green. But this is a very interesting stone. It's a big stone, but on the other side, it is green. See? No red at all, and no blue. Virtually just a little bit of blue, but mainly bright green. This is just a wonderful stone, a gift of nature. Well, matter of fact, all of them are. I feel that all are a gift of nature, non-repeatable. Once they're mined out, once Yowah is finished, it's finished. There won't be any more. But we have a good mine. We've only worked a small percentage of it over the years, but it's been very, very good to us. So we're blessed, we feel. Every day we go down the mine, it's a privilege to go down the mine and dig hard and eventually find opals like those. It's so rewarding. It's not just not the value of them, it's the colour that fascinates me. The beauty of the opal. That's the main thing. With that, I think that's it for now. Thanks, and I'm glad you watched the video.